Hey, what's up, guys? Terrell here from Terrell Game Vlogs. This will be another vlog, more of a rambling vlog. So if you're in the mood to hear me ramble for like 20 or probably 30 minutes, you're in luck. I was gonna stream tonight, and I put out a poll on Twitter, but that'll probably happen tomorrow because I kind of fucked up my voice by ranting about other things, and then it got me in the mood to record a video. And this video, I'll probably be tired. Actually, real quick, I know this is not a great way to start off a vlog. Let me go get a water, because I'm pretty sure we'll be here for a while. I'm going to fucking need it. The joys of a mini fridge, folks. So, I've been watching some YouTube drama-ish videos, and the ones on FouseyTube specifically are the ones that are kind of triggering this, because I've been wanting to make a video regarding that whole situation, but I couldn't think of how I wanted to approach it, because the whole idea that it kept coming back to in my head was, and I'm sorry if I want to look at the camera, I'm gonna be very all over the place in this one, so I apologize in advance. The whole question was, if you do good things for the wrong reasons, does it make you a bad person? Or something along those lines. Now, granted, I don't think being a bad person is as black and white as you doing one bad thing or one really good thing. Like, I don't think whether you're a good person or not is determined by one action you take. It's usually a culmination of everything. FouseyTube, I would argue, is a very manipulative, insecure person who, as of right now, seems to be in his finding himself stage, which I think is good, because he's been kind of cheating children and teenagers and adults for years on this fake positivity bullshit. Now, do I think he wants to promote positivity? Yeah, but that's not really the point. The point is that you essentially created a false narrative to trick people into believing something, and then you had actions that contradicted your own statements. Now, this isn't going to be a FouseyTube video, but just to let you know, if this video gets taken down later or flagged, and it'll probably be from FouseyTube, and if it is, then guess the fuck what? Kind of proves my point. The video's not going to be about FouseyTube, I'm just more using him as an example. There's a lot of people on YouTube who promote positivity and pretty much like good feels all the goddamn time. It's one of the reasons why I always say I don't care about being a popular YouTuber, because that's what you have to do. You have to put on the fucking smile and act like you give a damn 100% of the time, and half the time you don't. And like, the problem and the reason why is because the majority of people who watch YouTube nowadays, and it's probably always been like this to some degree, are like kids. They're like kids and teenagers, and maybe people in their 20s. Because if you notice, all the people in their 20s and 30s, even though they probably are watching YouTube, they're not watching YouTube for the same reasons why the kids and teenagers. The kids and teenagers are what makes up the fan bases for most of these popular YouTubers, like PewDiePie and Jacksepticeye and Markiplier and fucking FouseyTube or even all these damn daily vloggers. That's who make up the fan bases. And the reason why this is such a dangerous thing, this fucking false idolship and this false positivity bullshit, is because those are the people who are more likely to believe it. But it also brings up the problem that I brought up a while ago. Remember, if anyone remembers, I think I either did a video or a societal discussion video, I forget which, that was like titled "Haters Equal Criticism." You create that kind of generation. You know what type of people I'm talking about. Because FouseyTube did it all the fucking time. You took anybody who said anything negative about you and turned them into a hater, which made them like this weird, ugly-looking mental troll in your mind, which means you could dismiss them because they're an ugly little troll in your mind saying shit. Even though some of them were saying things that you could have took as legit criticism and learned something from it and become a better person by growing from the experience. That's not what the fuck happened. And everybody turned them motherfuckers into haters. And that's what a lot of people do on their YouTube channels. They have their haters like, oh, look, it don't matter. Don't care what the haters say. No, don't listen to the derogatory statements that don't have any real criticism in them. Because someone calling you a fat piece of shit, there's obviously no value in that. But people label those as trolls anyway. But the fucking ones that are like, maybe you should get good. You know, that's a low tier God reference, but like, maybe you should get good, or maybe you should learn the matchup, or maybe look at it from a different perspective. Like that's the other thing that pisses me off. When you label someone as a hater, you default them into a box that doesn't allow you to see why they're saying certain things about you. I'm not saying everything they say about you is true, but I'm saying you need to at least look at it and recognize why would they say that. Because the moment you can understand why that person's saying what they can say, you can then reflect on yourself and go, are the reasonings valid? And like really look at yourself. Because some people just like to deny it. And some people, listen, I understand as a teenager, as a child, life is fucking hard. It's not as hard as it really is in the real world, but it feels hard because you don't have anything to compare it to. Like as of up to that point in your life, that's the hardest it's been for you. So of course it feels a lot worse than maybe what it actually is. And you're not gonna fucking believe. And sometimes you need these YouTube personalities to sit here and tell you things can get better. Things will go certain ways for you if you have a certain attitude. And for a lot of people, that helps them power through the tough times in their life. Everybody copes with life differently, whether it's through religion, whether it's through a hobby, and for a lot of people nowadays, it's through YouTube personalities. Some people like watching other people's lives because it makes them feel better about their own life, especially if that YouTuber is promoting a positive message, which means for people who are pessimistic or very dickish in their humor or personality, kind of like me, you're not going to get the same kind of response or fandom because no child wants to watch somebody be a pessimistic piece of shit. Unless you're being a piece of shit to someone that a lot of people don't like. Which is what you have a lot of, I don't know if I call them trolling channels. That's essentially what they boil down to. Channels that make fun of other channels and the things that they do. And that's just because there are also a lot of hateful and spiteful people in this world. Understandably so. But getting back to the overarching point with this whole, why is it a bad thing if you have a good person doing something, even if it's under false pretenses? Well, in FouseyTube's case, it was because you create a fucking false narrative that tricks people into believing the world is a certain way, which gives them false ideas of the world that they're living in, and now you create and this is why I hated the concept of celebrities and shit, because these people hold so many futures in their hands unintentionally. And they don't and most people are just kind of like, fuck it, I'm gonna just live my life. And the problem is that you got a lot of kids who will follow that shit. And you have a duty to those kids to fucking set the right example. You need to, like, people need to sit out there and be like, look, I make mistakes. You can like me, but don't ever believe everything I say. Which is the truth. I mean, even for me, when I said it to my audience, don't ever just take everything I say at face value. If you don't fucking believe me, go look the shit up and then come and correct me in the comments. Because then I learned something and you've learned something and we've both grown from the experience. Just because you've decided, I don't think he's right, I'm going to call him out on his bullshit. You'd be surprised what positivity can come from what can be seemingly viewed as a negative experience. And these people who fucking profit off of the false messages they're spreading pisses me off on two different levels, because not only have you lied to people, you've also tricked youth into believing in your bullshit ass message, and you got people up here who are still acting like children. It's insane. It's fucking ridiculous, and they want to sit here and act like, oh, I'm here to help you guys out and show you that you can do it. It's like, okay, cool, you lost weight. But there are some people who are naturally just cool with being overweight. Because realistically, in this world, just because it's not the healthiest thing in the world to be overweight, at the end of the day, you're going to die anyway. So why the fuck do I care? Some people don't care about looking like a fucking stereotypical ass model. I mean, what's the whole... We go through this whole thing about fat shaming, and then we still talk shit about people who are overweight, or we still look at being overweight as a bad thing. So I need to help myself get together by shedding all this weight, and then at the same other side, love yourself. What? That doesn't make any fucking sense. Even if you're gonna promote one message, promote the one damn message. Don't sit there and double back on me. It's the same fucking thing. It was the same thing with him and his pranks and shit. It was like, I have social experiments about, you should love people. Like the one that could be viewed as the most genuine one, even though it probably was fake. Actually, I think almost all of his videos have been confirmed to be fake. But the one where he was giving all the flowers out to the girls as like a kind gesture, just to show them that they were beautiful. And then like the next day, he turned around and did like a prank, scaring the shit out of some random people. Now, obviously, these are both confirmed to be fake, but the point is you portrayed them as real and lied to your audience to make them think it's real. So the same guy that can go fuck with that's what I never understood. How do you promote positive messages and then fuck with people? It's like the two, it doesn't make any sense. It's such a dickish thing to do. And it's not fucking funny. I never thought pranks in general are just dick things to do to people. And I get it, you know, from an audience perspective. Yeah, I find it funny when someone slips and busts their ass. But for someone, even though I find it funny, I also realize that that can have a really negative effect on somebody. It's like, man, my day is shit. And now you've come to me with this bullshit ass prank where you pretended like I was about to get murdered by some dude in a mask running behind me with a knife. And you acted like, oh, well, yeah, you totally did me a fucking... Oh, but it was just comedy, man. Yeah, but I didn't find it fucking funny because I didn't know if it was real or not. That type of shit is just fucking terrible. And so, and just to give you a hypothetical, because that's what it really boils down to, is, let's say you have a man who's trying to get elected for president, and he needs to win votes from the lower class. So he decides to donate some fucking money to the lower class. Well, yeah, and well, the good news is the lower class now has money. The bad news is now with that false that false image of the person who gave them money to go vote for them, you've now put a bad person in the presidency. This isn't really a reference to America, but you could put it there, obviously, because of the recent events. And see, because people don't fucking stop. You know, positive messages are one thing, but if you're using them for some type of gain and you're getting something out of them, the only reason why you would ever have to stop is if what you are gaining becomes less valuable over time, or you obtain everything you want, which people who are doing this in the first place have a lot of things they want to obtain, and there are just some people who will never be happy because there are people who are weak in their fucking spirit. It's like they always want to talk about how, you know, I don't need this to be happy, I don't need that to be happy, and then they show you a video of them in their their like $2 million house and their like $500,000 car and like all this ridiculous expensive shit. But they're the same person who's sitting there going, you don't need material things. Bitch, what? Huh? Let's be real here. And people don't want to be fucking real on the site half the time. And it's primarily because they know they don't make money from being real. But to me, you also don't get to live. You don't become happy by lying to people. Doing that dumb white lie bullshit sometimes, you know, you get depending on what kind of person you are, you can get a kick out of that shit. But constantly lying to everyone you meet becomes tiring and just fucking kills you inside. And then you also trick these children and teens and other individuals into believing not only a false image of you, but the false image of the world. And then what happens when the reality comes to you and he smacks you in the face of your actions led an individual into a situation where they are now crippled or have lost something they can never get back. Because they thought the world was full of racist and sexist and evil people. They went up and tried to be a hero on some shit that they didn't even know anything about, and they ended up getting shot because they caused a confrontation that didn't exist. You caused there to be a confrontation originally when there wasn't supposed to be one, and that person got shot and died. Well, that person died following your message. A message that was founded in shit. You took shit out the ground and you turned it into something, and you just twisted it around into a happy-go-lucky looking message, but at the end of the day, it was still shit. It was absolute shit. There's a difference from coming from shit and being made of shit. Coming from shit just means you were just in a shit that you were just born and put in a shit situation as a child. But being made of shit means that you were never good to start with. Which is what all these false positive messages are. It's the whole thing about, is that person still a bad person? fuck yes, you're still a bad person, because more than likely you're going to keep doing it and keep misleading people. So all the little good you do will come back in spades, because half of these people will grow up to be arrogant or stupid little shits that will take them forever to really learn the lessons they could have learned as a child, because they followed the wrong individuals. It's the same thing with rappers. When you follow the wrong rapper talking about and glorifying the gang life but never really putting in the context of the reason why I became a rapper is to get out of the gang life. Because if that wasn't the case, then why did the rappers go and buy the $5 million houses and have 6,000 bitches and 6,000 cars and like all this expensive shit in their house if you wanted to stay in the hood? Well, that's the point. You didn't want to stay in the fucking hood. That's why you wanted the record deal. I want to make this paper. You want why you want to make this paper? Because you want to move the fuck out of your mom's house in the basement where your baby mama keeps fucking hounding you for a child support check. Nobody likes those situations. That's why niggas, and then the only reason why they keep it is because their fucking fan base are the only niggas buying those albums. The only niggas buying those albums are the broke ass niggas representing the gang life. So if you're not representing the gang life, they can't relate to you. Therefore, they ain't gonna buy music from someone they can't relate to. But unfortunately, you teach the kids that are growing up in those areas that that's what they need to be into. That's not what you fucking do. You got some people who cleaned up and took a respectable road after they got their money, or at least a little bit after they had their money. T.I. don't really fuck around on that level as much as he used to. Ludacris is the same fucking thing. And Gucci Mane for a little while kind of looked like he cleaned up. Doesn't seem like it's really paid off, because he seems to be falling right back into his same old bullshit. But the point I'm making is, that's what you fucking do. And that's why, and I think that's what and that's one of the reasons why I kept saying, my goal, if there's anything you learn from any of my videos, if you're not entertained, and there's anything you take away from my YouTube channel, whichever one you're watching, never trust anybody 100%. Always keep an open mind. Not because everybody fucking lies, but because it never hurts to look at all sides. The moment you try to fucking just focus in on one thing that you agree with, is the moment your view is narrowed and you can't see any of this other shit. Actually, I probably should do it here. You can't see any of this other shit. This other shit is fucking invisible to you because you're just looking straight ahead. And some people are like, well, that's how you make that money. You focus. Yeah, but then you also lose out on happiness, because the happiness was over here and your ass is so focused on the money, you got fucking blinders on, dude. You can't see shit. You can't see shit. And people want to fucking sit here and talk about how, but look, such and such was spreading a positive message. He had good things he wanted to say. He may have been doing it for the money, and his pranks may have been fake, but he was still a good person. No, he wasn't. No, he fucking wasn't. He may have had, you know who else does that kind of shit? People who lead cults. You know, what's the difference between a religious cult? What's the difference between a cult and a positive speaker? The difference between a cult and a positive speaker is that the cult wants something from you, whereas the positive speaker is just spreading a message. Spreading a message and wanting something from you, that's the major difference. A cult usually wants you to join into what they are and to follow their fucking crusade, mind you, and pretty much adopt everything that they do. Versus fucking a person who's just positive speaking, that's the dude who just comes around from fucking like school to school spreading a message. He's like, I don't need you to join no fucking website. I don't need you to spread no fucking mean pictures. Some fucking positive pictures on the Facebook, because no one gives a shit. I need you to just be a good person. Like my goal, like that's the goal for someone who's trying to be a positive speaker. Now, at the end of the day, he has to make money somehow, but it's also which is part of the reason why being a positive speaker in general is kind of a shit job, because unfortunately you have to turn it into kind of not a cult, but it's more, half of it becomes PR, because at the end of the day, you got to make fucking money. And just to have these people running around on the fucking internet pushing these positive messages that they don't believe in, half of them will turn off the fucking camera and be like, man, I hate this shit. These are the same people who are so insecure and still have all these basic ass problems in their life, but they're running around with millions of dollars that they made off of you spreading a message they don't really believe in. I think one of the best examples of that, going back to FouseyTube again, if anyone's seen it, one of his recent videos, he fucking got like a hair implant. Now, say what you will about whether or not you should be doing that type of shit in the first place, but this is a man who not only makes all this money, but has such a strong and loyal following, as we've seen over the years, and literally has almost everything he could want. And this man is still insecure about his fucking hair, his hair loss, the lack of hair on his head, to the point which he went to get a fucking hair implant, and he faked having fucking real hair. I think he like drew it in with a marker or some shit before this, and you're just kind of like, bruh, you're so fucking happy, but you literally couldn't get your hair in. Hair was the... When you got people sitting here freaking out over the fact that they're one gender in their body, but their heart feels something different, and this man went over here and changed this implanted hair on his head. And I hate when people do that shit because they try to equate those two things as the same thing. It's not even fucking close. But it's just like, you're so fucking happy, right? You're so fucking happy, but you implanted hair on your head. But you're so happy though. You're so happy. To me, that's like the best hypocritical thing you can show. The man who's so fucking happy but couldn't even... The man who has everything but is still trying to find using money to get what he wants. Using money to fill the hole in his heart. Ain't even got to be like a girlfriend or boyfriend to fill the hole in your heart. I'm just saying, you're so fucking happy, but you run around and you spend all this fucking money on all this extra bullshit. Are you really fucking happy? It's like, yeah, I don't have to go in for a 9 to 5. I can do all my shit on YouTube. But you're faking positivity to keep up the money, to keep up the lifestyle that you've created for yourself. Are you really fucking happy? And you're sitting there, and then you got the rappers tricking these kids. And they're going through all this extra shit to pretend like they're in gangs and maintain a hardcore edge rep. So you got these unhappy ass people fucking tricking these children into being positive or repping a certain lifestyle. And we go back to the original question. Does a bad person doing good things for the wrong reasons, are they still a bad person? And then you look at the damage it can cause. Yeah, you're still a bad person. If anything, you're probably even worse. You're worse than the dude. You're probably worse than the guy who just robbed a woman, because at least he just did exactly what he never. There was no false. There was no lies there. It was like, I ran up to you, I took your fucking purse, and I ran off, and I got however much money in your purse. Versus the man who walked up to you and sold you a fucking message, and sold you on that message and made you believe that message for years, and that message either ends up getting you killed or makes you a very unhappy person. That man has effectively ruined your life because he wanted something from you, which was probably some type of monetary gain, and all he sold you was a lie. He sold you a fucking lie that he didn't believe in. Don't ever fucking... That's like, to me, that's like one of the most despicable things to do. Sell a motherfucker a message that you don't believe in. To that degree. I'm not gonna, like, I would never make a fucking shirt that says believe in yourself, because some people just have self-esteem issues. As someone who suffers from self-esteem issues, believing in yourself doesn't mean shit. What you need to do is find a reason why you want to. It's like why I don't fucking give that bullshit statement like, oh, you're being selfish, you commit suicide. No, nigga, some people just view that as being smart, or someone who just don't want to fucking deal with some of the bullshit. Where, like, everyone wants to look at every has like a list of things that are just always evil. There's nothing that's 100% evil. Just like there's nothing in this world that's 100% good. I don't believe that shit. I don't believe that we just have this shit locked off into a box. But these motherfuckers who believe in positive messages and positive speaking will make you fucking section everything off in the little fucking boxes and organize it. This is good. This is bad. This is really, really, really bad. And this is like hater status. And you're just like, no, the fuck it isn't. Everything has an angle to it. Why do you think one of the most memorable lines when it comes to writing villains in shows is the path to hell is paved with good intentions. There is no, I'm not saying there aren't acts that are inherently evil. I'm just saying not everything's 100% evil. A lot of evil comes from good intentions. I want to say my sister's being held by the Empire. The Empire currently controls the government we live in the world we live in. I need to destroy the Empire, but I got to do it under a false alias. So I create a secondary persona and raise a rebel group to destroy the fucking Empire. Well, the problem is now I'm getting people killed in the crusade that I've created. And I'm doing all this shit I've destroyed. I'm also destroying the current governmental structure of our world and breaking that down to its lowest point, which creates chaos and anarchy, which means unfortunately either I have to build up a new fucking empire or a new way of society, or just say fuck it and run off with my little sister. I did all this shit because my little sister wasn't going to get the money she needed to get the surgery because of the way the government currently was. There are millions of people died. And thousands were injured, and people's lives are drastically changed. A lot of them for the worse, because I wanted my sister to get the medicine she needed. This is the same shit. It's the same shit. They're not spreading positive messages. They're just lying to you while smiling. There's no difference between an adult that lies to you while he's smiling and an adult that lies to you while frowning. It's the same shit. They're both lying to you. Ironically enough, though, the guy who's smiling is more likely to get the shit he wanted from you in the first place. The dude could tell you straight up, I want $20,000 from you. I have no intention of paying you back. And then the other guy can be like, hi, I need this $20,000 for my sister. She's sick, and I'm trying to push her movement and show the world that even someone with cancer can still be happy. I want to do this for her before she dies. So can you donate me $20,000 to my charity that conveniently goes to my PayPal address? But you don't know that because I created a fancy site that bullshit you to believe in it. It's actually being like a normal fucking charity. Thanks. They're both using it for the same fucking thing. It's just that this one lied to you about it. Man, people are fucking crazy, dude. This shit is ridiculous. It's fucking ridiculous, dude. Don't ever trust anything everybody says. Even me. If you disagree with me, that's perfectly fine. That's the fucking point. You have the freedom to do that. I'm not sitting here trying to push a message down your throats so I can get thousands upon dollars. When I ask you to donate to my Patreon, it's not for me to go build a goddamn monolith and save the world by flying to a different planet. It's so I can use that money to get the fuck out of my parents' house. Or to build a new, or fix my computer up so I can make better videos on a faster pace. Or fuck, just afford shit. It's not the most noble thing in the world, but it's also not me sitting here lying to you. If you're gonna be a piece of shit, be open about being a piece of shit. Because when you lie about it, that's even worse. You've tricked thousands upon thousands of people. And then the ones that use it for their own monetary gain while tricking you, it's like, you piece of shit. You told these children you cared. You told these children you fucking wanted them to live happy and stress-free lives. And you gave them this fake-ass fairy tale of a world. And you constantly kept pushing it. And kept making these, and kept saying, well, you should buy these shirts. You should support me on this platform. Support me on that platform. Hey, look, I'm on a fucking movie. Go watch the movie. You may not even like fucking Medea. Go watch the fucking movie. Because I'm in it. The guy who saved your life. If I'm going to get a message that I saved somebody's life, I don't want it to be under false pretenses. Because then I feel like a piece of shit. But then again, those humans who don't give a fuck about anybody else, they don't care. Lost game for your boy Terrell. Lying sucks. But lying to millions of people and getting their lives fucked up for you and for your monetary gain. It's fucking, that's like borderline unforgivable, if not unforgivable. I'll catch you guys later. Peace off.